I also think it's very important that Greenland realizes its place in the world. That we understand that we might want to to get independent one way or another, but we will never be totally independent because the world is made in a way, so we will never we cannot just break out and say, well, nobody should show up here. So I think it's important for all of us to get this attention and start focusing on more on Arctic and Greenland's role there.
I'm Jessica Swietoniowski for The Rebel, and I am standing outside the office of Henrik Leth, who is the chairman of Polar Seafood Greenland and as well as the chairman of the Greenland Business Association. Hear what he has to say about Trump's comments towards Greenland and what that means for businesses here. Have you noticed either a boom or a rush of business or tourists since the international attention?
Oh, it's only 10 days ago or something like that, so nothing has happened so far. But I know that the Tourism Association, they have had breakdown on their internet page because there was such a big interest. So it is actually, it has been noticed around the world, and that's good for Greenland, that we get some publicity. Some people say that even bad publicity is good publicity, so that's in my opinion fine. And I also think it's very important that Greenland realizes its place in the world. That we understand that we might want to to get independent one way or another, but we will never be totally independent because the world is made in a way, so we will never we cannot just break out and say, well, nobody should show up here. So I think it's important for all of us to get this attention and start focusing on more on Arctic and Greenland's role there.
And so what was actually the initial reaction? Because I did get a chance to speak to just locals here, and so they had one reaction. What was the reaction from business owners and shareholders, people like that, when Trump made his comments?
Yeah, people more or less saw it as a joke that I'm trying to buy. It's just a real estate deal, and I think it's more than that. So I think it's not as easy as he made it sound, and people were actually laughing and say, well, this is not going to fly.
And so America isn't the only one that has eyes on Greenland. There are Canadian and Australian companies that have been investing, and from what I've heard, China also has its eyes on Greenland. So how can Greenland, or is Greenland actually looking to expand its international relations?
Yeah, but you can say we have an interest in having investments in especially the mining sector, and companies from all over the world come and try to find minerals and start mines. So we see that as very good. But whether they are from China, Canada, United States, and so on, we have them from many different countries. So we hope that we have rules, or we think that we have rules that can have people behave and be good citizens in Greenland as a company, and that's the only thing we need. We don't say that we don't like these people or those people. I mean, everybody has a chance, and if they find something, I hope they will be able to create some jobs and make Greenland richer in that way.
Greenland is fighting for its independence. Is that correct?
Yeah, you say there is a movement that people want independence, but I think it's a very long shot before we will get that, because I mean they're so far from our economy is far from strong enough to be independent. We cannot be independent on the way we are now, and I think to change one sponsor for another, I'm not sure that would be the correct way of doing it.
How realistic is it for Greenland to be completely independent and grow and thrive like on a global scale? Is it possible to grow on your own, or do you rely heavily either on Denmark or other?
Yes, it is now. We depend on Denmark. They spent they give I think it's around 4 billion Danish kroner, which is, I don't know, 800 million Canadian or something like that every year to Greenland, and then they spend money on defense and police and other issues. So it's probably more than 5 billion Danish, and I don't think that's realistic that we can just change that for something else. I think we don't have the size. I mean, there's only 56,000 people. That means that we will have to have our production increase like. I think maybe we should have, if we just look at it as fish, we should maybe have 7 times more fish than we have now, and it doesn't seem to be in the ocean. So I think that's one of the issues. The other thing is that we have lack of education, so we don't have the right people for the right positions as it is now. We have a big lack of labor force right now, so the country might have to grow quite a bit before we can start even looking at it. But it's far away, and I don't think the politicians are working towards independency. I think some of them thinks that independency is something you win in lotto.
Final question: will Greenland ever become part of America?
I don't think so. I think there are too many connections between Denmark and Greenland, and I think every time people talk about it, it seems like it's all economy, but you must remember that 18,000 people born in Greenland are living in Denmark. So that means that it's a quite family. There's a lot of family connections. There's a lot of connections of people who have been here and worked here, and so I don't think it's also other ties between the Denmark and Greenland than just the economic ones. So I think it will be a very long time before we say, okay, we'll be very independent. We'll be part of the 53rd state or 52nd, whatever it is, of America. I don't think so.
Hi everybody, if you haven't done so yet, please visit rebelgreenland.com so you can see all my coverage while I'm here. And if you believe it's important for us to keep going the extra mile, you can help us by donating. Even $10 helps. This all goes into making sure we come and make these journeys to see the other side of the story.